Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do another list of books that I would like to get to in 2018. Now these ones are just 10 books that I picked off my shelf that I want to read this year that are what I would more consider the general fiction, literary fiction, historical fiction. It's all, you know, there are a lot of these books that I didn't read so much of these over the last few years. I mean, I have read in the past a lot, but you know, I kind of, you know, I'd read a lot of genre fiction as well. So, you know, I was all over the board on certain things, but I felt like I was lacking a lot of these kind of books. I don't read a lot of what I would consider contemporaries either. Usually, again, I'm reading for fun, and I'm not going to say total escapism, but I try to read stuff that's not my life. You know, it's other people's. So, I just don't always, I'm not always attracted to stuff that takes place nowadays or stuff. So a lot of this, a couple of these are like, you know, what I would consider contemporary or literary fiction. And then there's some of them that are more historical, and then some that are like really historical, like ancient history. Anyway, oh great. So they're all like fiction titles that I think everybody here on BookTube is probably well aware of, but these are 10 that I would like to get to in 2018. So the first one on that list is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I've been wanting to read this for the last couple months. I know a couple of people have read it and really thought it was funny, and I know that I think all 3 books are out now, so I think it's only a trilogy. I'm not quite sure, but it sounds really funny about a woman who goes with her boyfriend to Singapore and finds out that he is to meet his family, and finds out that he's rich and the most eligible bachelor kind of thing. So, and all the hijinks that with meeting his family and stuff. I really am interested to read this, so that's definitely one of them on the list. Another one I want to read is After the Parade by Laurie Ostlund. I can't get the T and the D together. Sorry, guys. Only thing I know about this is that a man leaves the relationship he's in, and I think he goes to San Francisco, and then things are, so he's making changes, and then he realizes he has to kind of go back home and deal with stuff that happened beforehand. So anyway, it just sounds like it's a good book, and Russell at Ink and Paper blog mentioned this on his a book that he'd picked up, I think in December or something. Anyway, I remember I wrote it down on a list when I went to the bookstore and picked it up when I went there. So I think it was one of his favorite books of the year. Another book I want to try is The Tidal Zone by Sarah Moss. I've not read anything by her, and I've heard a lot of good things about her work, but this is the one that I was the most attracted to reading, about a family that has to deal with their daughter who is now ill, and the aftermath of that, I think. So I don't know much beyond that. I mean, nobody's really, I don't want to know. I just said I go into these just a little premise and know I want to read them, but this is one I'd like to get to this year. One that's a little bit more historical, because it takes place in 1976, is The Trouble with Goats and Sheep by Joanna Cannon. I've heard this is really good. I know it has to do, kind of has you know, small town vibe to me. I don't know for sure, but I know it has to do with 2 young girls who try to figure out what happened to their neighbor who's gone missing. And so I've heard really good things about this. I'd really like to try that. It's one of those ones on this list that I held off buying the book. Like, I kept going, no, I don't need it. And I finally just bought it. Another one of those is The Ex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This is more historical, 1893, I guess. So I think her husband dies, and she moves to another town, you know, for some reason she goes somewhere where she wants to look at, I don't know, bones, or anyway, the Essex Serpent is kind of a legend, and she kind of gets wrapped up in that. So I don't know. I hear it's really good, and again, won awards. Sounds good. Cover's really pretty. That's not why I bought it. I'm just joking. Sorry. Another historical I want to read is A Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. I don't know a whole lot about this, except it's supposed to be a little spooky, I think. Some doctor goes to a house in the country, and they deal with what's going on, I guess. I don't actually know. I just have been wanting to read Sarah Waters. I hear a lot about several of the other books, like Fingersmith and The Night Watch and stuff. But this is the one that I heard about. It was one of the first ones I heard about on BookTube, and I really wanted to try that one out. So that's what I got. I also want to try The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. I know it has to do with a young girl whose family, I think her parents died on their way from Ireland to the U.S. and she is pretty much sold into slavery, I believe. And then she joins a household where she's with the other slaves, and their relationship, I think it was her and one of the slaves are the main characters of the book. So I don't know. I hear it's really good. From April at Getting Hygge with it. That's where I first heard about it and her rave about it. So I'm kind of curious to see how that is. And then going a little farther back into history is Wolf Hall with Hilary Mantel. This is about Henry VIII and Cromwell, and a lot of people know about this. I had heard about this, and then it just kind of slipped my mind, and then I didn't know it until I joined BookTube, and then I saw somebody talk about it, and I'm like, oh, I remember hearing about that. I was gonna get that from the library at some point. So actually got it at a library book sale. So anyway, so I want to try that. And then one that's ancient history is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I've known about this for many years as well. I just never got around to getting a copy, and I got one, I think, at the same library book sale as that one. It has to do with Achilles and his friend Patroclus, something like that. And I know that it's, it's part of the Iliad, or retelling of that. So I'm really curious. I've been wanting to read this for a while. Really shiny. Sorry about that. So that's definitely one I want to get. Okay, so those are the 9 that for sure this year I want to get to. Now, number 10, I'm putting this at the end because it's kind of a disclaimer. I've had this book on my shelf for years. I can't even tell you how long. It could be as many as 5 to 10. I don't know when my aunt bought this book, but she gave it to me to read, and I have not read it. So I'm putting it here because I think I should read it. I just haven't, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And why I haven't read it, I don't know. It's just been on my shelf for years, and I pulled it off to make sure that I put it on here. Even though I'm putting a disclaimer, I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year. It's one of those ones, again, it's not high on my list. Of these 10, this is still the lowest on the list. I don't know why I'm putting it last, except with a disclaimer. It's not that I don't want to read it. I don't know. It's not calling to me yet, and maybe someone needs to tell me that I just need to take the plunge and just do it. I know it has to do with a boy who is taken, I don't know, I think he's taken somewhere to a place where he gets to choose a book, and that's his book that he watches over or something, and then later he finds out that the books are disappearing by that author, or anything by that author, I think, or something like that. And it has to do with books and libraries, and I think I should want to read this, but for some reason I'm stalled on starting it. I've never actually started it. So if you have, let me know, or tell me that I need to read it, or tell me why I need to read it. So anyway, let's put these all in a stack because everybody likes to see that, and even though I'm horrible at this and I never do it because I never remember. Anyway, so those are the 10. Ooh, I can't get close. There we go. Those are the 10 books that I would call general fiction, literary fiction, historical fiction that I would like to read in 2018. That's right, it is 18. So anyway, if you have read any of these books, let me know which ones I should focus on. Again, I really do want to read all these, except for Shadow of the Wind. I'm kind of, but I really want to read them. I just, why don't I just do it? Because there's only so much time in the world. So anyway, let me know what are your favorites, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.